people have learned to do more with less. They figured out how they can change their lifestyles, their budgeting habits have changed, their spending habits have changed, and they realize that maybe they're not going to go back to the rampant consumerism that they used to experience a couple years ago. One of the good things, at least for this group, I think, is that going forward, people will start shopping locally more. They are finding, because they are, their money is strapped, their time is maybe a little freer than what it used to be, but they don't have the funds to travel and to do more. They may shop locally more at discounters. They also will shop online more.
So while they're shopping based on price and they're very price conscious, they're also now saying, I want to make sure I'm getting more value for my dollar. And in this new world, I may be willing to spend a little bit more because I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable now with the economy and what's changing, but I'm going to scrutinize things more because I want to make sure that I'm getting more value, that there's a value add to what I'm buying and to what I'm spending my money on. So now more than ever, it's so important to have a strong brand and one that can communicate the additional value that you're bringing to the life of the consumer, because it's not just going to be about price anymore. 4 of the things or components of a strong brand, which we believe now, given where the economy is going, are more important than ever, are these 4 ideas that we're going to spend the rest of our time talking about. So with that, the first one, defining who you are. We think the first step in building a strong brand is to do just that. You need to be able to define who you are as an organization, and more importantly, who you're not. And doing that by asking yourself simple questions. It's so important to define those because it's through your marketing and advertising and how you build your brand over time that those messages will become clear. Once you define it, it's up to you to make sure that that's the expectation that you set in the marketplace and then to deliver that. Your brand needs to be different from others in the marketplace. Don't go out and find out what your competitors are doing and try and emulate that. Don't do that. You want to do what they're not doing and figure out how that can work within your brand. If you're already a very well-established brand but maybe not getting the results you want, do some internal investigation. Talk to your employees. Talk to your customers. Find out what's already working and what they already love about you, and then continue to build on that.
And a lot of folks will immediately say, well, I can't afford to do research. Well, yeah, you can. You know, just do your own data gathering, and that will help a long way to bringing you about in the process of defining who you are and who you're not.
Now, something to keep in mind, you're already an established organization, you've been around for years, there is a definition of who you are, and you feel like you already know that. One of the things to do is just test that. Go back out there from time to time and make sure that your customers are still describing your organization in the way that you want. Number 2, become well known for one thing. So now you've defined who you are and who you're not. Now it's time to start looking at what's that one thing that you can do very well, that you can put your stake in the ground around, and that you can build excitement and awareness in the marketplace for. Everything that you do through your marketing and advertising creates an expectation in the mind of consumers. So you want to make sure that that expectation is something clear and eventually is something that you're going to be able to deliver on. We work with so many organizations that craft a message and put that out there, and then in 6 months they maybe say, I don't know if I really like that anymore. Let me change my message again. And they go through this cycle of continuing to sort of reinvent themselves, thinking that it's going to help them build a strong brand. The reality is all it does is diminish your brand, because now you've created confusion in the marketplace and people don't really know who you are and what you stand for. When you're designing your materials, anything from a business card to print advertising to your website, you're writing a radio spot, you're going to sponsor a community event, maybe you're going to use your logo in a certain way, or you're going to create a flyer for some event that you're doing. It is so important that you take the time to make sure that everything that you're putting out there has that consistency of look, because again, that starts to build the instant recognition. And branding really is about these 3 things that you see down here at the bottom. So from a design standpoint, everything, if you lay out everything that your organization puts out there in print form, online form, whether it's your Facebook, your Twitter, it should all have a very similar look and feel. And again, that message that you spent time crafting should be the same throughout. One of the best things that I think that you can do as a business owner is take everything that you've done in the past year, lay it out in front of somebody who doesn't know you well, and ask them to take a look at it, read through it, just take a few minutes to look over it, and then tell you based on your material, what do they think the traits of your company are? What do they think that you're selling and how you're selling and what makes you different? But it's so important that that message that you've crafted and the way you're presenting it visually match each other and are synonymous.
So you really can cut through the clutter of the marketplace by having this very important branded message and signature look.
If you're going to do, let's say, a campaign of 2 or 3 pieces of direct mail to a same group, change one of those variables throughout your campaign, but don't ever change both. So what I mean by that is keep the same sort of overall look throughout your 3 campaigns and vary your message. There's things from an internal standpoint, from an employee standpoint, that have to be addressed here as well when you think about creating that signature look. And how are we all as individuals and representatives of our organizations bringing that forward out into the public? The last piece is really validating customer expectations. We were actually just talking about this, but the personal mark that you leave behind with every experience that you have with a customer should reflect your brand message. Don't put something out there or put a message out there if you can't deliver on it. It's better to not say anything than to make a promise and fall short.
And if they have a bad experience, nobody has time anymore or has the patience anymore to do it, because we're taking it back because we're saying, okay, I have limited dollars to spend. I am really budgeting. I'm tight with my money, and I want to make sure I have the best experience possible. So if that price-value equation does not work out in the right way, then I'm moving on, because I don't give you a second chance in this day and time.
Mm-hmm. And leaving your personal mark can be simple, nice, easy touches that are memorable from the consumer. Last slide. I know we only have 2 minutes left. Just wanted to sum this up. So again, to us, these components are so critical, and they all build upon each other. If I can leave you with anything, they all build upon each other. So again, defining who you are and who you're not, becoming well known for that one thing and creating that clear message, creating the look that matches that message, and then being able to deliver.